2.28 gigabyte download.
Good evening, everybody. It is Corner to Corner time live right here Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Spreaker.com, and we are up and running. Myself, Stan Grubb, and, of course, my tag team partner, as always, the doctor is in. Brian Taylor, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? How are y'all?
We are good, sir. We are rocking and rolling. Hey, before we get too deep into everything, because we got a lot to talk about, especially coming out of Evolve, big shout out to Rob Hefner, who is at the Garth Brooks concert. He's getting down with his friends in low places right now. Pretty cool.
That's funny.
He got friends in low places, man.
I always figured that was us.
Well, maybe it is. maybe he's slumming it when he does the show with us. Oh man, so let's see here. Interesting day in the NFL. My Panthers let me down. Your Redskins kept you happy.
That's right.
Damn it. This season might just be a drop back and punt type situation for Carolina at this point. Yeah, it should be interesting though. We'll see how it comes down in the next few weeks. I still say Carolina might be able to pull off a 9-7, but it's going to be hard. And I don't see them going too much further in the playoffs if they keep getting their defense gassed. On the other side, I gotta give kudos where it's due. Washington is finding a way to win every single week now, and they're doing it pretty good. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, hang on, let me turn this master volume down. There we go. All right, so I got a little Diablo playing, so I can turn down the volume. If you look at some of the games, they've only really lost one game to Pittsburgh way back in week 1, and they've been close. The 3 losses and the 1 tie. If a lot of it comes down to just missing field goals. And it's just crazy to see a team, right on that fine little line that just keeps killing itself. But it's been an interesting season.
Well, I mean, would you have thought, and I know we don't normally dive into NFL, but just an interesting week in the NFL this week. But would you have thought that Detroit would be in the driver's seat in their division?
I think so, because they've been moving, progressing. Stafford's not a joke. Stafford can get the job done, and it's, just like anything else with anybody else, a good year, the right people, the right breaks, and you're exactly where they are.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to safely predict that Detroit would do well this season. I did not think they would be this much in control, so I'm happy for them, especially after all the crap they've gone through each season. They come out strong for a couple weeks and then they fall apart. That seems to be, unfortunately, this year, and I still love them, but it seems to be the role Carolina's playing right now. Their defense gets gassed. Offense is making some dumb mistakes. Offensive line is just not doing Cam Newton any favors this year. So it's a tough one, but we're going to make our way and do our best. So let's dive into wrestling. Let's talk a little bit about the news that is, and let's start off with, I won't say the elephant in the room because it's already been identified, the happenings at Evolve 72 last night. More specifically about the ECW commentator himself, Joey Styles, former head of media relations or media whatever for WWE, had been signed to Evolve doing color commentary, And there's always fans and there's haters out there that like and dislike what a guy does. But last night, Mr. Joey Styles was directed. Now, here's the story as it happened. So they are in the midst of announcing an upcoming matchup. Joey Styles tells Joanna, who is the ring announcer there at Evolve, he says, "Joanna, you look great tonight, and if our next president were here tonight, he'd want to grab you by the..." And he stopped himself. Obviously making an attempt to utilize pop culture and keep relevant and make a joke and see how it would fly. In the process of doing this, this sets fans off all over the world, not just those watching at home through FlowSlam.tv, which, by the way, is airing live right now, showing Evolve 73 actively in the ring. Chris Hero, and I do not know his tag partner just yet, but it's also he is taking on the Catch Point, Fred Yehai, and Hot Sauce. I don't know where he got the nickname, but he's a good wrestler. Anyway, the Evolve Tag Team Championship is on the line. And actually, Chris Hero, my bad. Chris Hero is teaming with Dustin, defending the Evolve Tag titles as Drew Galloway stands on the outside. Anyhow, the event that takes place last night, Joey Styles says this, and what I believe is a dumb joke, bad move, poor decision. But at the same time, that's all it is. I mean, if you're, depending on where you were this past Tuesday, maybe you're offended, maybe you're upset, whatever the case may be, and I can understand it. It makes sense to me. But here's the thing. Wrestling has always been a reflection of pop culture, whether it's jokes about the president, the presidential candidates, what's happening with, remember they used to joke about Rob Ford up in Toronto. This is the things that happen in the world of pro wrestling. The only thing I have that I can say I understand and agree with why Joey Styles was fired, and he was summarily fired about 5-10 minutes after he made the statement, Gabe Sapolsky, gentleman in charge of Evolve and also WWN, basically gave the mandate that no one will make any political statements at all throughout the show. You can probably attribute this to WWE's partnership with Evolve and WWN. So they're trying to keep it safe. Let the wrestling tell the story and let it be like that. I'm fine with that. Styles apparently took it upon himself to try to make a joke and keep things moving. Didn't go over. He gets fired. This is where it gets a little hairy for me. Now, Brian, on the surface, when you hear something like that, and I know where where you basically stood Tuesday, not that it matters, because it really doesn't. But, I mean, really, it doesn't matter. But the point is, from your point of view, Joey Styles saying that, is that a big deal?
It might have been a little bit of poor taste. However, I did not cast any votes Tuesday, so.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I was shocked at the results, but I just couldn't push a button, pull a trigger, throw a lever, pull up a pencil for either one of them.
Hit the hanging chad, whatever.
Yeah, so now I did find out later that there were several people that just voted for everything besides the president, and I didn't know you could actually do that, or I probably would have done that. But I think the comment's probably in poor taste. Should he be fired? I don't think he should be fired for it, because Lord knows there's been a lot of other things said on TV that people never got fired for. Right, Big Show?
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was still gainfully employed for much that entire time.
Yeah.
The thing is, and there's a lot of, in the world we are in today, and of course, with our audience, I think we've got a pretty mature group, and I can safely say that a lot of our fans have an understanding of the world of wrestling on a whole, not just, the most recent era, but I think we've laid it out and our fans understand that we're fans of the old and the new school. So events like this is not uncommon. I mean, how many times do we hear Joel Gertner say crazy stuff? How many times
Mark Madden.
Yeah, oh yeah, Mark Madden. Or, God, who, damn, there's so many. Vince Russo used to do it all the time. Bischoff used to try it. Jim Ross
Tells me Michael Hayes did it more than once.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't abnormal. It's not even out of the ordinary for just regular entertainment television. It's what people do. I mean, if Saturday Night Live can have Dave Chappelle come out there and do his thing, and they can make fun of Trump, and they can make fun of Hillary, and all of this keeps happening, I don't really understand the butthurt part of all the fan base that I've seen on Twitter. And I say this because there was a gentleman who I actually respect as a journalist, David Bixenspan, who writes for multiple wrestling newsletters.
I was about to. I thought you was gonna make a mistake there.
No. That's not the guy. But a gentleman who I respect as a journalist, but also just as a wrestling fan in general, because I think he's got a good, smart opinion. Until we get to this point, he just goes all in. I mean, he goes off and starts stating that Joey Styles was basically a puppet for Paul Heyman at ECW, that he was horrible as a commentator, and that basically it serves him right. Like, here's my thought. If Joey Styles hadn't made this joke, if he hadn't said what he did, would anybody be talking about him right now? No, of course not, because it's just another wrestling commentator. Not to put him all down, but here's the deal. The show is about the guys in the ring, not the guy behind the microphone at the broadcast table. You know, with the exception of us, because we're important and we matter. Our broadcast table matters. But I get it. You don't like the comments being thrown back and forth. You don't like the jokes, the insensitivity. And we live in a world, unfortunately, Brian, where there's a lot of sensitive people out there. You know, like you said, is it in poor taste? Of course it was. I mean, he shouldn't have done what he did, because in this case, he should not have gone against what Gabe Sapolsky told him not to do. And I respect that. I mean, he did it wrong. It was his mistake in doing so. And him being fired for that, for doing what he was told not to do, okay, I'm okay with that. I think Joey Styles will bounce back. I think in a few months this will all blow over as just, another attempt by a wrestling personality to try to get something over, and it just didn't work. That'll be it. I mean, I really don't see it turning into anything else. But there are a lot of fans out there that are upset about what Joey Styles said, because they're saying it almost, and again, we really try to avoid political here, because it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense as it is. Why do we want to put the circus in town any further? But really, they're upset because it's almost as if that he was going into business for himself and endorsing Hillary, or stating the displeasure of the country or whatever. And on a side note, if we are going to put an editorial out there, I don't think I've ever seen our country as divided as it is right now. And hopefully that changes. I mean, it's unfortunate. But it's a wrestling commentator that made a joke, and it didn't work. Comedians go out there every day and do this, and when they flop, they get booed out of the building most times, and they have to go back at it the next day and keep working. So what's the big deal? Why is this such a polarizing situation? Is it because of the anger that's in our country about the election? And if that's the case, if wrestling is your escape from the craziness of the world, which it is for a lot of us, I would encourage you to perhaps seek some help as far as thicker skin, or maybe just changing the channel. I get it. You don't like the guy. You do like the guy. It's kind of like when people got upset at Hulk Hogan. No, we don't endorse what he said. We think it was stupid, but at the same time, he's a human being. Everybody says stuff that they may regret at one point in time in their life. You let it go, or you forgive and you forget, or you move on. Whatever you got to do to make things work and not have to stress about it anymore. Good Lord. Reading Twitter today, though, was just like everybody wants to see Joey Styles strung up. I mean, dude,
the I guess it's now fashionable to be a crybaby. I guess um, in the fact that it seems like everybody thinks, well, if they cry, you know, loud enough, or if they cry with the majority, people are going to listen. And you know, it's the everybody gets a trophy era,
Yeah.
and everybody's on Twitter, and you know, they just need something to fuss about. And he got fired. He said it. He got fired. If he owns up to it and doesn't try and hide it, which if it's on, you know, in front of an audience, is not really much he can do. Then he gets fired. It's a mistake. It's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. I mean, these are probably the same people that a few years ago used to love Jerry Lawler scream puppies.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And because at that time, puppies apparently was not that derogatory of a statement, even though you're talking about a female's breast.
Mm-hmm.
There's no uproar. That's what I don't understand about what's taking place in this country. Because last year, when it was cool to some old guy scream puppies, it didn't bother you. Well, now apparently everybody has a conscience and has learned what's sexist and what's not sexist and what's racist and what's not racist. Everybody thinks to have some voice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't be fake because you were, you know, it didn't bother you last year. Deep down inside, it's not bothering you this year. You're just trying desperately to be heard because you think people listen to you. Well, no, they don't. You know,
I
just
mean,
like, go ahead.
well, I mean,
far.
no, I agree with you. I think that, you know, Twitter's a great place for wrestling fans to join in the mix, to interact, to learn, and to have a good time. It's fun. It's a good part of wrestling today, I think. But it also has its negatives, and this is one of them, where you get the ignorance of one guy. And I think in this situation that Mr. Bixenspan is being ignorant. I think you're piling on to a situation where had this not happened, you wouldn't have said squat. You really wouldn't have. You'd have gone on to your next article, which would have probably been a good one. And I stand by the fact that I respect the guy. I just disagree wholeheartedly on what he said today. You can have an opinion. Your opinion's fine. You know, Brian mentioned how we've learned just recently about what the definitions are. It's almost like they're redone for racism and all that. And I've said many times, we've said many times, that we don't have a place in our show for any kind of racial divide. We just don't believe in it. We don't buy into that mess. But I mean, with a comment like this, I wanted to give it the first segment so we could get it out of the way and, you know, kind of mention it and move on. But at the same time, the irritating part of this is someone is always going to mention this now for Joey Styles.
Well, I think over time it'll pass, but, you know, I don't fault the guy for wanting to write an article on what he feels is a hot button topic, because that's how you stay relevant.
Agreed.
However, if you don't have an article, because if you were around when ECW was around,
mm-hmm.
if you don't have an article stating how bad Joey Styles is, then you bringing up ECW now is crap. Because where was your voice back then? That's my whole point. A year ago, Joey Styles didn't affect you that much.
No.
But here it is now when he makes a mistake. Oh, let's dogpile the guy. I'm not buying it. To me, you know, again, you're a journalist. You should write about stuff like this. But don't dogpile the guy when you didn't do it a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. They, that that's again, you didn't have a problem when he did. You didn't have a problem with the guy. Don't pick on him now just because he made a mistake.
And I completely agree. I think that in this situation, it's time to put your big boy pants on and stop fretting about the nonsense that happens around you, especially in a situation like this where we already know that this is going to happen. If it wasn't Joey Styles, it would have been somebody else. I mean, so Styles gets himself in a position where he gets basically set up, I guess you could say. All right, I get it. He goes out there and he probably felt defiant when he did it. I can respect that. You're trying to keep pop culture involved and kind of play on the emotions of the people. And really, who knows that better than Joey Styles and a guy from ECW?
Right.
And people can say all they want that you can't afford to, at this point, go back to that part of wrestling, but that's what wrestling is. You learn from history and you go forward with it. But if you forget it, if you just put it out of your mind like it never happened, like WWE has done with so many different things and so many different people, you're ultimately going to create a hole. And you're never going to get yourself out of it because someone is always going to pull you back to it and say, no, this happened. This went down. And it's unfortunate because, I said that somebody's always going to bring it up for Joey Styles going forward. And they will, because that's just what people do. But here's a guy whose career before this point, not a single person that I know was saying, especially not during ECW's time, to your point, that Joey Styles wasn't a world-class commentator. This is a guy that did color commentary on ECW by himself. And if you can find a guy that can do that in your promotion, hey, more power to you. I don't think there's one out there today. Mauro Ranallo is tremendous, and I really enjoy him on SmackDown. But even then, with him, he has to have a second guy to go back and forth with. Joey Styles never needed that.
Right. Yeah.
So let's move on. We've given this, I think, the due time that it's owed. It's certainly a newsworthy event or happening. But let's talk a little bit about we'll talk a little bit more about the news that have happened this week. How about the settlement reached between Anthem, or the Fight Network, TNA, and Billy Corgan? Did you really expect that the settlement would come this quickly?
Sure, because he was due about 2 weeks ago. Again, when Corgan lost the court case, he only had a few days. They had a few days to either pay up or give him 32% or whatever it was. So it doesn't shock me it came as quick. Kind of shocks me that he took the money. I'd have taken the stocks just to screw him. But that's just me.
Maybe he finally just lost favor with it, lost his taste for it, and said, I want out. This place is obviously a nightmare. These people here don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't have any way to provide, or I don't have any way to prove that they're going to pay me now. So if this company is willing to pay me back and I can get out clean and go do my own thing, why not? I can respect that. Although it does, here we go again. We get to January, they'll do their tapings, and Dixie Carter being who she is, 6 months down the road, Anthem's done with them?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why they're not done with them now, personally.
I wonder what kind of a sweet sales job she does with these guys, with these companies, with these people. I mean, Billy would probably be the guy to ask. How do you get snowballed into this? Oh, yeah, don't pay any attention to that glaring fire in the back of us here. Where everything's fine. We're good. There's no inferno behind me. We're a happy family.
Right.
It's pretty amazing. I still don't get why Billy Corgan thought it was a smart investment. Because I think he would have seen, just from everything that's been out there in the public, And he would have said, nah, not going to do that.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if when they talked that, there was an agreement reached where he was going to benefit from this and she was going to take more of a backseat role, and lo and behold, she's like not following through because Lord knows there's a lot of information where she's not following through on what she's supposed to be doing. So, I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't some type of an agreement that benefited him that he just, whether he can or can't talk about. And that we're missing out on.
I'm sure that money-wise, we probably won't hear that figure. And that's pretty common for settlements. But I think in the future, a few years down the line, we'll find out what really happened there, and we'll find out just how intense the negotiations were. Because at this point, I mean, the suit is not done. But if he's being paid, I would assume, and this is simply an assumption, that we're not far from seeing it dismissed because he's been paid. Now what happens with the state of Tennessee and all these other suits that are out there, my impression of what the agreement with Anthem is they will ultimately end up paying those as well and going forward. Although it would have been really interesting to see if Billy could have sold his shares to WWE.
Yeah, but again, that's what I would have done. I'd have made him give me 32%, and then I'd have just hosed him back.
Here's your new shareholder. Oh, it's Vince McMahon. What? Oh, let's see here. Here's another news thing that I just stumbled upon. A couple days ago, Goldust was on Facebook advising about an incident that happened with his stepson. Here's the layout. It says, my stepson, who is a transgender, was attacked last night, and I'm effing pissed. Grow the F up and let people live their lives the way they choose. Stop all this hateful crap towards one another. The 3 men who attacked and beat her up are still out there, and you boys are lucky. 3 lucky individuals that I wasn't there or you would be on life support. Again, there's a lot of hate, man. It's just going on out there, and it's just crazy. I'll never understand what drives people to do that kind of stuff. So our thoughts are with Goldust and his family.
I agree.
Kind of hard to really go too deep into that one. It's pretty much on the surface. It is what it is. Oh
yeah,
man.
So it's just sometimes free thinking. Their way of life is nuts. So I agree. People should just let people live the life, but that's not how it works.
No, you're right.
Always got some bigot somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I imagine it's somebody who's not hurting anything, not doing anything wrong, just out there, and these 3 guys got to mouthing off, and that was where that happened. So, here's some news that came from the European Tour. United States champion Roman Reigns pulled off the tour for the rest of the week, not due to an injury, and according to some news out there, was not due to a wellness policy failure. It was more of a family situation, so our thoughts go out to him. Interesting to see if this turns into something that they covered up and turns into a wellness violation.
He's been down that road before several times. I would hope not, considering with what's already been put out there, his future as far as the match with him and Owens in what's December's pay-per-view.
That is for SmackDown. It's TLC.
Roadblock, isn't it?
Oh, Roadblock. Yeah. For Raw, it's Roadblock.
Yeah, if that were to hold true, and he screwed up again, I would think he'd be finished in the WWE. I don't see how you could keep him as many times as he's violated that, and been able to come back from it. I don't see how they could waste any more money on him.
So, back to TNA news, total non-stop deletion. It's going to happen, and it's going to air on, let's see here, this will be airing on December 15th. Total non-stop deletion will all be taking place, in other words, the next episode, or that episode of Impact, will take place from the Hardy compound in the House of Hardy. For the first time ever, the entire broadcast of Impact on Pop TV will be shot on location, will feature your favorite stars from Impact Wrestling. In addition, a spectacle unlike anything you've ever seen before, Apocalypto, will be unveiled when Matt and Jeff Hardy defend their World Tag Team titles in a revolutionary match. If nothing else, the Hardys are thriving in this current TNA environment.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll purchase TNA or something.
That would be cool. At least they'd know what to do with it, I would hope. So Hulk Hogan is reportedly in talks with WWE about making his return. We've been talking about this since the suit went to settlement. It appears that he's been in contact with officials, possibly returning for WrestleMania 33. TMZ apparently spoke with Brooke Hogan, and she actually advised that she was aware of them communicating, and he should be back at WrestleMania 33. Hogan gets quoted on TMZ a few days later saying, I don't know if I don't bring it up, nobody will. So anyway, Brooke's running around on TMZ and made the statement about me and wrestling in WrestleMania. For the record, she needs a big boot to the head. I haven't talked to anybody about WrestleMania. I just need to put that to rest. I asked Brooke, what are you doing? She goes, oh, well, I'm just starting it up. And I said, thanks, Brooke. It was kind of funny. I said, no harm, no foul. It was all good fun.
Mm-hmm.
All that being said, I mean, they've started putting Hogan back in their promos. They're saying his name again on TV. They're giving him, airplay again. I don't think we're that far from seeing Hulk Hogan back in WWE.
No. Again, I think that just makes the point about Joey Styles. You can never really say never. As far as this, a talent that's out there. And
well, I mean, there was a time where we thought that Goldberg...
Who you are, you can get away with saying, yeah, but, again, Goldberg left on, I guess, fairly good terms, whereas I wouldn't... Me personally, the way Hogan left, I don't know if I'd call it good terms. I might would welcome him back because he's going to make me a boatload of cash, but that was pretty hot and heavy there for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is with Goldberg, I mean, the anger he was spewing out there about Triple H and all that. Of course, we don't really know what was work and what wasn't there.
All I know is they have done something to Diablo.
You're still downloading your update?
No. The character's just not quite working the way she was. So, guess I have to pick another one. Yay.
So, Brian, have you progressed in your career with WWE 2K17?
No, I've hit a flight snag.
Aha. Well, for me, I was pleasantly surprised when I read this week that an update was submitted to PlayStation servers so that now, if I put the old PlayStation in rest mode, I won't lose my progress on my career mode. Man, that was a frustrating error. So you would put your PlayStation in rest mode, you come back to your game, whatever, a few hours, a few days, whatever, and it would be gone. your career mode was corrupted and it would be gone. So you'd have to start all over again. And that's especially tough when you look at what you're doing on your career. If you're trying to fight your way up the ladder, which takes forever. I mean, geez. Title shots are being given out on Raw every week, but I can't seem to advance past rank number 5 in the U.S. title hunt in my career. Is the fact that I'm bloodying everybody up, is that just not okay with them anymore?
Yeah. I guess the promise behind it was good, but in the long run, to me, the rankings, because it's just like me and the tag team in NXT. I beat 2 of them so bad they split up and then reformed new tag teams. Yet they're 2-3, and my tag team, who hasn't lost a match, is still stuck at 5.
That's where I'm at. I've beaten the world champ. I've beaten the U.S. champ, all in non-title matches. I've bloodied up just about everybody I've stepped in the ring with. I see that there are the computer-created characters are getting matches, and I'm getting the same matches. I'm getting the same matches over and over again. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I'm on my 6th match against Rusev right now. 6th. Nobody needs to fight Rusev 6 times, I'll tell you that.
Well, mine would normally go, I would have some type of match on NXT, and then when I did main event, I would always face Finn Balor. And then the following week, NXT, Finn Balor. And I think I went 10 times in a row with Finn Balor. So
I did find an entrance on 2K17 that is really cool, and it works with the created character that I made. The entrance is called Magic Monster. So your character walks out holding this magic stone, and he comes out in his normal ring gear. So if you've got entrance attire, it looks like he's not wearing it to the ring. He takes a few steps, he looks around, throws the stone to the ground, and all of a sudden this green smoke goes up and all over the place and it hides your character. And he's crouching down, and as the smoke dissipates and he stands up, he's in his entrance gear.
Katrina's calling. Huh. I'll have to check it out. What's it called?
Magic Monster. And it is pretty awesome. I really dig it. For my masked character, it works just well.
Interesting. So you got a mask, huh? Hide that ugly face.
Well, they won't let me import my face into the uploads just yet. I'm still struggling with that. I got to figure out how to do that and get my ugly mug actually in this ring. Then I can crush Rusev. Mashka.
Broke it.
I broke the PlayStation
You
server.
broke it.
So let's talk about Survivor Series. The event. Was that a no?
Talk about what?
Survivor Series.
No. You're cracking there, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your mic's cracking.
No, Mike, don't crack up on me. Help me, Alec. Help me, Tom Cruise. Now, don't get all upset, everybody. It was just a joke. Watch Talladega Nights. You'll understand. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
So, SmackDown brought us some news that is definitely big deal. Will the new 5th man for the SmackDown team please stand up? No, Baron, that's not going to be you. That's going to be the one and only Shane McMahon. He's the 5th member of Team SmackDown for their singles 5-on-5. This is interesting in the fact that I think it'll be an exciting main event, but it really doesn't do anything to help progress or give an opportunity to the younger talent, such as Baron Corbin or even Kalisto. But moving on to the next set of news bits there, Kalisto gets a title shot against Brian Kendrick, and here's the rub on this one. If he wins the Cruiserweight Championship, not only does he win the Cruiserweight title, but the Cruiserweight division comes to SmackDown. This is big news. I'm excited for this.
All right, so let me take a stab at this, and let me show you how this works, because I'm about to lay down an exclusive on you.
Hit me with it.
Kalisto will win the title. He's going to be new champ. And why do I say that? Because they've already televised that the cruiserweights are going to air right after SmackDown.
So do you think in the storyline that Shane McMahon will decide not only will the cruiserweights perform on SmackDown, but I'm going to give them their own show?
No, he'll just give them their own show. The cruiserweights are cool. I like seeing the cruiserweights. However, they bogged down Raw, and Raw has 3 hours. Well, then you take an hour away and you put them on SmackDown. Well, it's just going to bog that down as well. So that's why I'm sure they've given them the time. And since Raw is 3 hours and SmackDown is 2, we're going to air it after SmackDown. And isn't it live?
It is. It is live, and Mauro Ranallo and Corey Graves will be doing the color commentary on it. That, in and of itself, is a big, noteworthy thing because Corey Graves is on Raw. So I'm curious as to how they're going to handle this. Now, here's another bit of news that came out of SmackDown. SmackDown, by the way, was a really good show this past week. In the news here is The Miz gets his title shot, gets his rematch with Dolph Ziggler next week. If he fails to win, he will be traded to Raw for either Sami Zayn or Cesaro. I think this is a bad move for The Miz if they trade him. Because right now on SmackDown, if he wins the Intercontinental title back, it makes him all the more hated. And it's something that will benefit them because one thing they sorely need is main event caliber talent, and I think he's up there in that spot. So I think it's actually, I mean, not that I don't want to see Sami Zayn or Cesaro on SmackDown, I do. But, I mean, you're depleting Raw, and you're certainly not helping them by putting Miz in the middle of what I think is already a top-heavy main event. He'll get lost in the shuffle.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it benefits the person you bring from Raw. It'll benefit them. The Miz doesn't need that benefit. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's been there. He's still functioning at a very high level. But a guy like Cesaro needs to be allowed to stretch his wings, and I think he can do it better on SmackDown. And the thing about Zayn, the reason it would probably benefit him is if he's on the same show as Kevin Owens, they're always going to expect Zayn and Owens. And you need to separate them, let things die down so that later you can bring them back and have some fun again.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good point. And if you're in charge of Raw, I mean, when you're looking at the two different rosters, I think keeping Owens as your champion is probably your better bet. I mean, you're going to have the feud with him and Reigns. That'll probably be pretty good, match-wise, depending on how many times they do it. If they do a 4-match run with them, as far as pay-per-views, that could get old pretty quick. But I think it's smart. I really do think it's smart to keep him as the champion, and even turn him. Maybe you turn him face after a while, and keep Jericho as a main event heel, and have that feud. Which, hey, I'm cool with that. Again, people making the list is awesome. And this in from Joey Image on the chat room: trade for Cesaro and put Sheamus back in singles. I can see the value in that, Joey. That's a good point. Sheamus right now as a tag team performer is kind of clouded, shadowed, whatever. He's put in the background. And Cesaro's definitely not seeing a benefit by being in a tag team scenario anyway. Especially since they wouldn't pull the trigger on him and give him the titles.
Right. I just think Cesaro will do better against the likes of an AJ Styles or Randy Orton or, Bray Wyatt as opposed to being relegated to a BS tag team that was never going to go anywhere to begin with. Cesaro's a great talent, and they really need to put him somewhere where he can be utilized. And again, I think The Miz is strong enough character that he could go to Raw and survive.
Do you think that with Sheamus, and this is a thought I've been having for a while, are we able to see Sheamus get back to the main event level? I mean, he had a good run there, and then of course with League of Nations that kind of fizzled out. But it's hard to be the guy that's going against Roman Reigns in the middle of the crowd, trying to decide how bad they hate him. So nobody that faces him is going to get a fair rub, in my opinion. But Sheamus had a good main event run when he was world champion back before they officially put the rosters back together a few years ago. He had a lot of momentum on his matchup with Daniel Bryan when he won the title in 8 seconds. So I thought that with Sheamus, you've still got the natural good guy that sticks up for the little guy. I mean, that role he played back then was very good. Plus, he's got a little bit of a rub there from being a friend with Triple H. Well, I mean, at least a favored competitor that Triple H has. I guess you can't really say that they're buddies without any real clarification. But even still, it's an interesting time because as Survivor Series is around, there's always, you are coming up on the Royal Rumble. Survivor Series is always a big event. You've got Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. You've got so many things happening. It's not a bad idea to start shaking up the roster, but I also kind of think that maybe it's too soon to start doing trades. What do you think about that?
Well, again, when the rosters were done, we should never have looked at them as being finalized because you got to tweak things from time to time.
Right.
And if Cesaro's angry or mad or upset, which I think there's been a couple reports on, and you don't want to lose him, and you want him to do well, why not move him to SmackDown? I think SmackDown will probably benefit from a little bit more star power. To me, if you look at name talent, Raw has more name talent, but SmackDown is like the better show. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just the right mix of promos and wrestlers and people you can get behind. Yep. Whereas Raw, even for 3 hours, is bogged down. And, it wasn't too long ago that Cesaro was having these spectacular matches. And hopefully they'll, put him or give him an opportunity to do it again.
Yeah, I think that with what we've seen in today's product, I think Cesaro has a place, and he's earned his stripes, so to speak. And I think he's been very patient with a company that has not been really willing to give him an opportunity. And, there are reasons for that. Sometimes it's more related to just having too many plans already going on. So in other words, they've already got a guy that they want to main event. They already got a guy that they want to move up the ladder. So it's not that they don't have faith in him from that perspective, but they are also trying to keep stories going, and I do understand that part. I think what we as fans get impatient about is when we see him consistently outperforming the quote-unquote chosen ones, that it's time to make a change. They were able to make a change really well with AJ Styles. You couldn't really tell what they were going to do with him at first because he had his feud with Jericho, and you weren't really sure if they were going to stick with him as a face. They had the club there, and they were teasing it, but they weren't sure. And then finally, when they got him to turn heel, it started to make sense, and his run caught fire. I can't see him losing that title anytime soon. And of course, watch next week. Some crazy James Ellsworth will become the champion.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, not
that
James
doesn't happen.
Ellsworth. Sweet chin music, or no, wait, no chin music.
No chin music. Yeah. No chin music.
JBL had the line of the night
yeah.
where he said, he said, Shawn Michaels is turning over in his grave, and he's not even dead yet. Thought it was a great line.
Yeah. Some reason your mic is cutting in and out on me, though.
Let me see if I can fiddle with this
Could
thing.
be. I hope not.
It's probably Skype and Spreaker playing with me. Folks, I mentioned Joey Image is in our chat room. Sent us a message there about Cesaro and Sheamus. Go to Spreaker.com/user/corner2, that's a number 2, corner, and you'll actually be able to join the chat room and send us your thoughts and comments on the show. Last week, of course, we had text coming in from Eddie Lane, and he was telling us some thoughts he had on some of the things that were going on. We talked last week about the toughest competitor in wrestling history, overall, current and past. So that was a good conversation. So get an opportunity. You can hit us up on Twitter at C2C Radio Show, and of course in the chat room as always. Brian, what do you think about Charlotte and the women's division in Raw taking on SmackDown's women's team? Do you think that is just too busy, too cluttered?
No, I think Raw is probably far superior over SmackDown, and I almost wonder if that has the potential to be one of the better ones, but isn't going to work out that way. I just don't see how SmackDown can compete. To me, it ought to be a clean sweep as far as the females go. I love the Survivor Series matches personally, so I don't think they're that cluttered or bogged down. That would be interesting with the tag team one.
That one has been really busy. All of those different people, that's 5 teams, that's 10 guys on one team, so 20 guys 20 guys in the ring. I mean, that's going to be a long match.
Yeah, that's a lot of beef to put up on one of them rings, but hopefully they'll pull it off.
And folks, if you're hearing any kind of distortion or crackling on the microphone, I am double checking the settings on that just to make sure we got everything up.
It's almost like yours will cut out or something.
I think that just might honestly just be a connection issue there from Skype, because everything else seems to be running smooth as silk, as they say. But we'll keep an eye on it, see if it doesn't improve here. So, our resident Lucha Underground expert is not here. We already had to do the legwork for him for TNA. Brian, where are you in your quest for Ring of Honor knowledge?
I got done watching. I guess it was last night's show. It wasn't a bad show. Colt Cabana and Dalton Castle faced Taylor and Lee. Is that it? the big guys. Um, I can't remember the one guy's name. Sean Taylor and Keith Lee or something like that. And it appears to be that old Colt Cabana might have something to do with the disappearance of Dalton's boys.
Aha.
So that's probably going to play out over the coming weeks. Basically, Dalton goes in the locker room and he's looking for his boys, and he's upset he can't find them. And Colt Cabana's standing in front of a door, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You don't need them." And so they leave the locker room, only to find out there's feathers, from one of them's get up sticking out of the door. So, yeah, something tells me that old Colt Cabana might not be on the up and up. So either that or Silas Young has reared his ugly head again, trying to turn them boys into men.
I'm surprised the Briscoes haven't gotten involved with that.
Give it time. You never know. There was a pretty good 6-man match for the one of the tournament matches. The CML crew versus the Addiction and what's his name? I'm bad with names, y'all have to forgive me. The Addiction and their partner from New Japan, CMLL1. That group won.
CMLL Bean, LL Cool J. I don't know any more LLs.
Yeah, those guys.
Them guys.
It wasn't a bad little match. Yeah, it wasn't a bad little match. And then the Addiction's partner spit at the foot of Christopher Daniels, I think it was. So after the big loss, that tag team might be finished, or 6-man might be finished. Hangman Page lost to Bobby Fish.
Damn it.
In a pretty decent match. Yeah, I was expecting the win too, but alas, it didn't happen. Fish put him in some nasty little leg move. What's the name of the leg move? Anyway, he barred. He bars one leg, and normally they stay on their backs, but for some reason they decided to roll, and it really looked like Page's foot was like turned the wrong way, and I mean it was really, really crazy looking. And afterwards, there were some people checking on Page outside the ring, so hopefully he's okay. Jay Lethal and what's Fish's tag team partner?
O'Reilly. Kyle
yeah.
O'Reilly, I believe.
Yeah, they ran Adam Cole, baby, out of the ring. So I'm trying to think if I missed anybody. I think that was about it. It was a good show, another solid show for Ring of Honor. But again, there's something nefarious going on. Dun, dun, dun. With the boys all missing.
Uh-oh.
And the young, I still cannot, I think Dalton Castle would be perfect for the WWE, the main roster.
I approve. I think he'd do well. I think Adam Page would do well in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
if they let him keep his same gimmick.
I don't know if Adam Cole would do well in WWE specifically, like in the main roster. I know he would do well in NXT, and if they can help pull out some of the personality that he very obviously has, that could be of benefit. I think we could see something good there.
Right. I actually think he would probably just the way he's stacked up size wise
Mm-hmm.
compared to Lethal and O'Reilly. To me, he would probably benefit better from a cruiserweight division in the WWE. Um, but the way they are now, AJ Styles not the biggest guy in the world either. So, but for some reason, he just looked awful small compared to the other ones last on this episode. So, because for a second I was like, man, I didn't think he was that small, but he is. He's
Hey,
a small feller.
here's something kind of off the
Baller
wall.
feller.
Kind of cracked me up at the same time, made me feel bad. Do you know that Sonny is still in jail?
Oh, here we go again.
I saw this, and it only made me laugh because I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. But apparently, from her parole violation, she is locked up, and there's a possibility she could see a few years in jail for this. Because she was supposed to stay out of, basically not touch alcohol or pills at all. And they do periodic testing. When, of course, she got popped for it, sent her to jail. This would be, 2 months now? Man, that's crazy to me.
Pro, probation, parole violations will get you some pretty serious time pretty quick. However, if I could take a page out of Frozen, the great Disney movie, let it go, let it go.
I can't. You don't understand. I don't know how to quit her. I can't. It's such a sad time for a Sunny fan.
You.
It's a sad time to be a Sunny fan.
You should send us some commissary funds.
You think maybe she's got a girlfriend on the inside, kind of like Orange is the New Black?
Hey, we're not getting into all that. I'm not going that one.
I'm just saying, it's got to get lonely in there. All right, enough goofing off. We hate to see that happen to anybody. God knows I would not do well in a jail cell. So I hope she's able to get this.
You would do well. You just don't realize how well you would.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I need solitary. I'm crazy.
You're crazy. No, they'll keep you in general population.
I would never shower. you gonna take it, but it's gonna be the nastiest ride of your life. Oh, good Lord, help me, Tom Cruise.
You would be somebody's poker bet. Is my new girl Stan?
I give you the white meat baby face over here. No, please.
Wow.
I thought I was your only one.
Ouch.
Man, that's sad.
Yeah, you're sad. Bringing that up, you dirty rascal.
I happen to see it.
In jail, your name would be Dirty Trick.
Oh, see.
You still there? Hello?
I'm here.
I lost you.
Uh-oh. The Skype gods are not happy with you.
Maybe it's me. You never know.
It's your 4 gigabyte Diablo download.
I am on the Xbox. No, that's done. It didn't take me but maybe 20 minutes. My internet moves fast. I'm in this big town. Not that little country.
Country boy. Oh, boy.
I'll bring this up, though. For all you guys that are in the action figures, Target's going to have this really cool-looking WCW, what is it, WCW, where the big boys play, I think. Is that what's on the side of it?
It's definitely...
What was the old blue and yellow ring?
Yeah, it's like, it kind of reminds me of the old 1992-93 WCW ring. Like they had on WCW Saturday Night.
Right, yeah. Well, I think that's the one. So Target will have that ring apron, and then also Dusty Rhodes classic look, and he looks like he has 10 pounds of gold with him. So I thought that was kind of cool too. A new Eddie Guerrero, also from Target. So just throwing it out there if anybody's interested.
If you're looking to get a Christmas gift for Brian here on the show, then, now, forever. I'm just saying.
No, well, Rob has seen those the new WWE ones. What is it? Then, Now, Forever set.
Mm-hmm.
But I've yet to see any. So I'm more interested in getting some of the cards than the figures, but I just want to see what they look like.
Speaking of the cards.
That's just me. I'm wacky.
Speaking of cards.
All right, go ahead.
I know our hardcore wrestling fan audience, they've got to be able to help us out. I know somewhere out there is an old school WCW, blah, 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 WWF, WCW fan that has WCW Nitro, the trading card game, cards. I know you've got them. We are looking for the hardcore set. We only need a few to complete that set. If you
only need Hogan and Flair.
That's right. If you have got these cards, contact us right away. Get on your Twitter, Facebook, Spreaker, whatever. Let us know. We can make a deal. We can make it happen. We can have our people call your people. Do we have people?
That's right. We've been looking for them two cards forever and ever.
I know they're out there. I know they exist. Oh my God! Stop the press! I have moved up to number 4 in the United States title race. Yes. Woo.
What?
Yay!
Hey, just for the record, ever is a long time. I'm just saying that's how long we've been looking for these cards.
The Nitro game itself was, in our opinion, probably the best wrestling game, non-video game, that had come out. We did play Raw Deal for quite a while. We enjoyed it, but Nitro just had an easier feel. It was faster, and it actually made a little bit better sense, if you can imagine that. If you're a hardcore gamer like we are, you played the Comic Images Raw Deal game, and you enjoyed it quite a bit. But Nitro was only out. Deb, you're interrupting my awesome conversation.
Fantastic.
Please stand by for a station identification break. Don't worry. Oh, no. No! Damn it! Folks, we are still recording live. I do apologize for the issues here with the internet. We're going to try to get everything back online here right now. So I apologize for that. The intranet was not cooperating. We were talking about the WCW Nitro trading card game. One of the best parts of this game was its ease of play. And myself, Rob, and Brian all really did enjoy this game. It was actually a lot of fun. We had, like we were saying, we had the entire first set. I believe I've got it somewhere here. We've got pretty well the whole first series, all of those cards, all the superstars. We even had custom cards. That's how deep we were into this game. Now, as far as
Hello?
what else we had on there, and it's happening. It's happening.
Are
Brian,
you there?
I'm here. Oh
Are
my
you
God!
there?
It's ringing from everywhere. I can hear you, Brian. Don't leave
Well,
us.
can you talk to me,
Jeez.
man?
The comic of errors called Spreaker and Skype. Brian, I'm here, man.
Can you hear me?
Damn it.
Can you hear me now?
Give me one moment to fix the audio. Everybody likes the audio. Audio, audio.
If you can hear me,
Are you
say
there,
you can hear me.
Brian?
Say I hear you.
There he is. Hey, Brian's back. Damn it.
I've been back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
Oh God, folks! Thank you very much for sticking with us here through our comic of errors when it comes to internet and Skype and Spreaker. But we are back and we're live, still live, talking about WCW Nitro, the trading card game. Before we were interrupted, we were talking about the fact that we do have the complete first set. We got the hardcore boosters timeline-wise. I said the game was out for maybe 2 years. It did come out in late 2000 and 2001 before. I'm trying to think of the January event they had before they started getting to positioning to get bought by WWE. The hardcore set came out. It had Terry Funk, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Tank Abbott, there's a name that you may not recall, Norman Smiley, and Brian Knobbs, and I'm sure there's one I'm missing. Oh, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. How can I forget Big Papa Pump? Anyway, we had a good majority of that set. We bought those booster boxes like it was candy. And finally we had pretty much everybody except for Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. We've even got their signature moves. And we are in a quest, much like you would play with your Zelda game, if you're a video gamer, and I bet you are. We're in a quest to complete the set. So that's what we're working on right now. And if you have Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair, please let us know. We are looking to complete this set and get this game back and going. And hey, just like we did with Champions of the Galaxy, I bet we could actually get a live game going.
Yeah, but it would. Trying to think how long it would take for us to figure it out again.
You know, I was looking
when we were playing like every week. So,
yeah, we would play during Raw.
Yeah. Massive, like, set up cards and everything.
We had notebooks where we were keeping track of the rankings. We had championships. It was crazy. And that was with both Nitro and Raw Deal. Raw Deal was a little bit more involved because, of course, they continued for a long time. They were started out in 2000 and continued all the way through 2006. So there's a lot of sets out there. I mean, yes, we could get back involved with that, but that's a lot of money.
Well, Raw Deal would not be too bad because I still have probably 15 sets. The ones I took those pictures of that day. I mean, I still have some titles and everything else.
I don't have any of my Raw Deal cards. Unfortunately, all lost in the flood.
Yeah, I think right now I'm the only one with any left. And all those we had.
And we had a bunch. We had too many. It got to a point where we had long boxes of extras, and it just sat there. Although occasionally when we had to change up a deck, that's what we used it for. So that was kind of cool.
Oh no! Well, see, that was y'all's problem. You and Rob changed up the deck. But once I found one that worked, I didn't fool with. That's why all mine were champions.
Well, you did have the tag team champions. You had, if I remember correctly,
Pump.
Yeah, Pump was the
Was a champ.
Yeah.
U.S. or I guess IC maybe.
Oh man.
I defeat the women's title.
Yep, you did. You had Lita, didn't you?
I think I still have. I think I even have the world title.
Oh man. Those
I have to pull them out and look and see which titles I have, but
what I remember the best about that is, and this is something that I hope that our listeners can understand, what I liked the best about that was while it was a lot of fun and it was competitive, God knows we would get butt hurt after getting our tails whipped. Never mind the play on words on that. But anyway, it was a chance for us to not just enjoy Raw and SmackDown and other events that we'd be playing during, but it was just another way for wrestling to just help us, just to help us have fun. So I miss that stuff. Not to get too sentimental. I am kind of the sentimental guy of the group, I guess. It was one of our more fun activities, I think. Aside from beating the crap out of each other. Rob's not here. We can talk about it now. We scared him off last week. I'm out of here. You guys are talking about getting your butts kicked.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed every week we got together playing that stuff.
I can remember times thinking I finally had the tag team that can knock off the APA. I'd be all ready to go, pumped up, and I'd get killed.
Well, then it turned into the Outsiders.
Yep. And Steiner.
And y'all could wrap it up after that.
And I remember when Shawn Michaels' deck finally came out. I went to the ends of the earth to find every card there was for him to get him ready. And Shawn Michaels could have like up to 100 cards in his deck. Here we are doing inside baseball here. And it still wasn't enough to beat Scott Steiner.
No. Because Steiner and like the Outsiders, once you started getting them power moves in, you could forget it. You're done. If you let me get that far, and it didn't take long, you were done. I pull them out, though, see which title belts. I might even have the European title. If that one was out. I know I have like 3 or 4 titles, which means that the decks I had, had the titles.
They were pretty stout.
I think even Kurt Angle might have had a title. Because I had him too.
If we could find those notebooks, that would be the most fun. Folks, we had multiple notebooks of wrestling stuff. Like Rob found the old lineups, the old run sheets where we'd set up the cards for our wrestling ventures there. And then we had notebook upon notebook for another corner-to-corner production, New Attitude Wrestling, which we haven't forgotten about, by the way. That is something we will be visiting soon. But at the same time, we had ranking sheets, we had pay-per-views, we did Monday Night Raws where we would just do a card, whether it was Raw Deal or Nitro. Now, unfortunately, Nitro didn't last as long as we wanted, mainly because of the availability of the cards. But even with that, though, we had custom cards going out of everywhere. We had Rick Rude, we had the Ultimate Warrior, we had Lance Storm, and they were really easy to customize. That was our first, at least for me, attempt to actually make my own card for one of those types of games.
Yeah, I don't remember the customs too well, but I know we had a few. I do remember that. You cut the picture out and put it on somebody else's card.
Take the spare nitros or whatever we had like 20 of. And speaking of, in the booster box that I had from the first edition, I think I've got 5 Sting cards now.
Nice.
What a waste.
Man, call Sting.
He does this, he does that. I don't know what the hell that meant, but okay.
He does this and that.
So this Monday is the final Raw before Survivor Series. Also, this coming Saturday is NXT TakeOver, where not Finn Balor, damn it, Shinsuke Nakamura defends the title against Samoa Joe. That is going to be a great one. The finals of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, the second annual, will be the Authors of Pain versus TM61, or better known to the independent world, the Mighty Don't Kneel. This weekend is going to be a busy time for WWE. Do you think, much like we saw at SummerSlam, when TakeOver happened and really eclipsed the show, You think that's going to happen again here for Survivor Series?
If they don't hold it back, I think it can. Because I think they got a great thing going as long as they let it be its own entity and don't muddle with it too much. I think you'll probably see quite a bit of that. Plus, you got Mickey James and Asuka.
Yep.
Isn't that this weekend?
It is.
So, I don't remember who else is on the card. I'm sure you got Bobby Roode. You'll probably have Samoa Joe. Hopefully Roddy will be on there. Hopefully you'll have Eric Young and his crew.
Yeah, I imagine Sanity will be there. As far as what their involvement is, I really don't know yet. There's also Bobby Roode will be taking on Ty Dillinger, so that will be a great matchup. Nakamura versus Samoa Joe. This is going to be their second meeting, and this the first time we saw them was Samoa Joe just having his way with Nakamura pretty much the entire match until he hit the Kinshawa or whatever, the knee to the face. Fans everywhere are like, what an idiot. I'm sorry, I let you down. But anyway, so with everything that's happening
that's
there...
That's a good try, though, kid.
I gave it my best. I tried, Coach. I tried. But with that, with like you said, with Asuka and Mickey James returning to WWE, I wonder if this will turn into more of a full-time deal for Mickey James.
That would be nice. I don't necessarily need to see her full-time, but I would love to see her get back up to the main roster for a run at a couple of them. That way you can honestly tell if some of these female wrestlers are where they need to be, because I think Mickey James is a good competitor, and if the likes of Sasha Banks or Charlotte can keep up with her, then I think you're probably in a good place, female wise. So it'd be nice to see her.
So let's look at the lineup for Survivor Series, and we'll talk about. We'll just do our quick run through. We'll do predictions here. So we've got Intercontinental Title match: Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler. In this, it is the Intercontinental Open Challenge. Interesting. I like that they're revisiting this. I thought it was successful. Successful for John Cena. If, in fact, The Miz does not beat Ziggler this coming Tuesday, then that means The Miz is getting traded to Raw for either Cesaro or Zayn. Would you announce the trade for Zayn at this point before his matchup with Ziggler, so that way, either way, it stays on the Intercontinental title, stays on SmackDown?
Well, I think you'll know this week whether the trade's going to happen, and then this way they can at least, make sure that the title stays on SmackDown. Because if you don't trade Sammy, then there's that chance that title goes to Raw, which would be really foolish to have the world title, the IC title, the U.S. championship all on one show.
I'd agree. Maybe they'll make another title. Maybe instead of, because Raw's got the Universal title, maybe this time we'll see the Network title. They could replace it. That'd be interesting.
Well, I'm down with that. Then get rid of the IC belt. Yeah, you know me. I got a fascination for that TV title, Network title type thing.
So,
and that would be nice. I think that'd be what it needed.
So it seems to me that they're prepping Ziggler to win Tuesday. Seems like that's what they're planning on, unless they just pull a swerve and Ziggler somehow doesn't get it done. So would you predict Sami Zayn, or would you predict Dolph Ziggler to win this one?
God, I would say Zayn, but only if he got traded. So to me, Tuesday would be the deciding factor for me. I mean, again, I just hope they're not foolish enough to take that title from SmackDown and put it on Raw when they don't need to.
So what about the first of the 3 Raw vs. SmackDown Survivor Series matchups? The 10 tag team elimination match, 10 on 10. You've got the Hype Bros, Rhino and Heath Slater, the Vaudevillains, and the Usos and American Alpha versus the New Day, the Club, the Shining Stars, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Enzo and Cass. I mean, I would think that Raw benefits here from the victory. It shows that their tag team division is dominant. And if you're truly trying to put it over as the New Day is the best tag team in history, I would say that they're the sole survivors for the Raw team.
Yeah, but to me, this isn't going to have anything to do really with the tag titles. I think if it does for Raw, the only thing you'll get is where the Club will cost Raw the match, which then sets up the Club and New Day again.
What if we saw another trade and we saw the Club and the Vaudevillains change places? One goes to SmackDown, the other goes to Raw.
Mm-mm. I think there's a plan in place for the Club, and I think due to Finn Balor's injury, we have not seen it come to fruition.
I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think if Finn Balor recovers by the Rumble, we'll probably see that unfold.
Yeah. Because, again, something tells me that Balor was going to play the bad guy against Seth Rollins when he won the title, and that it was going to be the Club that helped him. I mean, to me, it's been set up for some time with the Balor Club or the Club or all this other nonsense that, to me, that's how they're going to capitalize on it, is using Balor instead of Styles. But I think the Club is going to cost Raw that match.
So let's move into the next elimination match, the women's matchup between Team Raw and Team SmackDown. On Raw, you've got Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Alicia Fox, and of course the captain of the Raw team is Charlotte. On SmackDown, we've got Carmella, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, who, by the way, those two ladies had an awesome women's matchup this past week, and their captain, Nikki Bella. If you're SmackDown, you have to win this one. You need to establish some credibility for your women's division, and the best way to do that is to have them win this matchup. Although I have a hard time believing they will do it, because when you look at the talent on one side versus the talent on the other, Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch cannot carry that entire team.
Yeah, no, I think this one squarely goes to Raw. I think this will be definitely one that there's no question, if that makes sense. Just something about it. I mean, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax. I think right there could probably take your SmackDown roster. Just those three. Because if you eliminate Becky, what do you have left?
I mean, you really don't. I mean, I like Alexa Bliss. I'm a fan, but I don't think that right now. I just don't see them putting a whole lot of faith in her as the main lady in that division just yet. And I think with as much momentum as they've put with Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley, and Nia Jax, of course, I'm still not sure why Alicia Fox is on this team and not Dana Brooke. But that's okay. I guess that would have been too predictable.
Yeah. Maybe there's. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's just like the throwaway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need one person to go down on the Raw team. It's going to be Alicia Fox. Again, Raw to me that's the strongest team on any team, I think. Is the Raw female team.
Yeah. So we did talk a little bit about Kalisto and Brian Kendrick. It seems like the obvious choice here is that Kalisto wins the Cruiserweight Championship from Brian Kendrick, and the SmackDown roster gets the Cruiserweights, which then turns the Cruiserweights over to their own show, and maybe they spotlight a title match on SmackDown, something like that. I'm not really sure how they're going to do that yet.
Right. Yeah. Definitely, to me, Kalisto.
But remember, Brian,
based on what's that?
This is Brian Kendrick's last shot.
Wow. Had to go there, didn't you?
I mean, it's only his 20th match since.
I guess his last shot is kind of like Dean Ambrose's turn at being number one contender. Really,
just give me one more
how many
chance.
of those are you supposed to get? Yeah. Oh, no, it was Ellsworth. Ellsworth did it to me.
No chin music. No chin music. So let's take a look at the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. We've got Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman taking on AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and the new fifth member of the team, Shane McMahon. Now, in this meeting, to me, if you're going to keep momentum going for both shows, you almost want to set it up so that Raw comes out ahead in this one to give SmackDown something to chase. And I could see Shane McMahon being the guy that loses it.
Possible. But I think SmackDown wins this one. I mean, with Strong Roman, you have the Wyatt family, and two of the three are going to be on the SmackDown team. So there's liable to be some shenanigans there. I think SmackDown has the stronger roster for this match. Because in Roman Reigns, isn't he one of the guys on Raw team?
He is, and with him and Kevin Owens feuding at this point, I could see Kevin Owens and him getting into, as Brian put it, shenanigans, and somehow them getting each other eliminated. I also could see James Ellsworth being responsible for getting Dean Ambrose eliminated, which, I mean, if you don't see the writing on the wall for this heel turn that Ellsworth is going to have, then you need to maybe come out from under the rock that you're under, because he's going to become like AJ's new best friend. That's what's going to happen here. My buddy AJ said I could have a title shot. on a side note, I am happy for James Ellsworth to get the shot there at a main roster gig, even if it's temporary. I feel good for him. I mean, I think that's cool. And they've created a character that really has fans interested. I don't know if he'll ever turn into like a major player. I'm not trying to put him down in that regard, but at least right now it's almost like we've got a Barry Horowitz kind of character.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Let's just play pin the tail on the donkey here, because I do believe that Ellsworth is going to help AJ defeat Dean here shortly. What if the Cruiserweight title goes to SmackDown, and AJ says, if you help me, I'll help you. And instead of winning the world title, Ellsworth gets the Cruiserweight title.
Oh, my God. That would be funny.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Again, if I'm using Ellsworth for dirty, underhanded tactics, I'm going to make sure they get the Cruiserweight title, and then I'm going to make sure Ellsworth becomes the Cruiserweight champ. And he'll be with AJ till the end.
They're bosom buddies.
And
that would be funny.
Yeah, it'll be just a cool little story there.
I would definitely dig that. I think.
All right, so I got a question for you. All right, so is it wrong of me to have shot some dude in the butt named Big Fat Vegan? And it was a kill shot too.
What did you have? Like a bullet that went from his butt to his brain? Damn.
It's a Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1, the sniper rifle, he put his butt out there. I took the shot, killed him. His name was Big Fat Vegan. If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is.
Daniel Bryan, we love you.
Yeah.
We love all vegans out there.
Hey, but it's okay to be vegan, but can you be a big fat vegan?
I mean, it's still overeating even if you're eating a lot of salad.
Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe I should be vegan for a day or something, personally, but
maybe we all could benefit from that. I'm just saying.
Oh, for me being vegan?
That's not what I.
That's ha ha, jokes on you.
That's not what I meant. Well, I gotta take it there, man. That's not what I was saying.
You little shit.
The thoughts and opinions expressed here on Corner to Corner. We do not condone the shooting of big fat vegans in the butt.
All's fair in war. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder what happened. Why was he bending over? Like, oh, look, there's a quarter. Hey, dude, there's a gun in your hand.
Yeah, no, he thought he was a big bad sniper and could hide behind this outcrop on a building.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he thought he could just, shoot to his heart's content, not realizing there are, other guys that can do the same thing.
Better be careful. You're going to get shot in the butt next.
Probably. Because he's probably listening right now.
That dirty bastard. He shot me in the ass. I got shot in the buttocks.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to put big fat in your name, you should probably move your butt from the outcropping. So it's just not... Whoa.
This stint.
I'm sorry.
Brian Taylor being sued by the National Association of Vegans. No, I'm just kidding. I think. All right, so what I think is going to be the main... What's that?
I said that is some Kentucky windage right there.
What? Kentucky windage?
Yeah. So, like in Battlefield 1, the bullets operate and function like a normal bullet would. Right? You can't just shoot somebody from 5 miles away and the bullet maintains the same, path and trajectory and all that stuff. So I shoot a guy from a distance, but I aim high and, kind of arc it over and tag him in the head. So that's Kentucky windage. You know what I'm saying?
Aim high. Are you in the Air Force? What the hell?
Well, you aim a little high so that the bullet will then, when it falls, it will peg him right in the head. That's called Kentucky windage. In layman's terms, you know what I'm saying? That, for me to get into the physics of it, might be a little boring for the show.
The wind resistance and
I'm sure some of these guys, are pretty good shots and know what Kentucky windage is. And then there's Stan, who's Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't really know how to pick up a gun.
Whoa, Joey Styles. That's not what I said.
Does that mean I get fired?
Oh my God! It's only good for a couple of weeks, so we gotta get the jokes in now and then let them go.
Right. Hey, for the record, though, we should send an offer to Joey Styles for some employment. We can't pay you, but it'll be loads of fun.
He would probably be the guy that would go, "Oh, these marks."
Hey, I don't care. Call me Mark. That's what I am. You know what I'm saying? But we would have fun. We could all be marks together.
We would draw the laughter out of him. We would not let him get off of his phone without laughing.
Well, he'd probably make us laugh. He'd be like, my agent said, we're going to pay me $1,000, and we'd be like, bah, ha, ha, ha. That's funny. That's funny. I don't know who your agent is, but he a big fat liar. He a big fat vegan. What?
You need to get Trump to help you, buddy. I mean, you need a new agent.
Did you say Trump? What?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Stan making a funny now.
This just in, Spreaker has fired Stan Krupp. We'll find out somehow that Trump owns Spreaker, and that'll be all she wrote.
We could probably make Trump laugh.
Oh, definitely.
He's probably into the sandbox type shit we aren't.
Then he would sue us.
No, he wouldn't sue us.
He'd be like, fellas, I had a great time. Thanks for letting me on here.
Y'all are part of my cabinet. Jocularity and humor. That's what y'all are in charge of.
He'd send us out there to some foreign country. Okay, guys, you're supposed to set them at ease. We don't want to send any troops here, so you're going to help for the peace talks. Wait, what?
Y'all are in charge of dipshittery. Well, we got that, buddy.
Woo! Can we come to the White House? No. Oh.
Yeah, really. You can go to the outhouse. That's where I keep my dipshits at. All right, back to what we were discussing. I don't even. All right, let's take Ellsworth. I think though Ellsworth, if they were smart, they let him help AJ and then AJ help him back. That would be kind of funny.
The storyline with that could be really good. I mean, if you remember when Stephanie was women's champion, nobody could beat her. There was always some kind of crappy thing that happened, and she kept the belt. And then finally, when Lita won the belt, it was a huge reaction. You could do that with Ellsworth. Have him,
easy. Mm-hmm.
Have him cheat, say, Kalisto out of the belt. Styles cost him the match, and every time he's defending it, he's almost beat. Nope, something happens. And then finally, Cedric Alexander, for example, finally gets his chance. I mean, it would be huge. Huge. It'd be huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you could pull, like, his, chin gets dislocated or something. You know what I'm saying? He could take a boot to the face and be, you got me. I can't work. And the ref have to call the match, and then it'd be fine in the back. I'd pull. There's that would be. What's the word I'm looking for?
Chicanery, shenanigans.
No, that would be compelling television if they would bring me aboard. Because just let me write Ellsworth, and we'll have a blast. I would too. I'd be putting him in all types of shenanigans. It would almost be like the 24/7 rule with the hardcore title.
That would be so amazing. I'm in. I vote yes. Can we go to the ballots now? That is actually a great idea.
There would be just all types of, you can have them brag, I'm so bad I can't be beaten. It's an open challenge for anybody, anytime, anywhere, and just have them not realize what he says, and next thing you know, they're fighting in, pool halls and hotel rooms and just all over the place. At the
Crash
local
Holly
IHOP,
2.0.
somebody gets the pancake.
Not the IHOP.
Yeah, at the IHOP. Yeah.
In wrestling speak, that's the Waffle House.
Oh, man, I thought we were more sophisticated than that. Not that there's anything wrong with the Waffle House. But.
I loves me some Waffle House. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so here, because, sometimes my mind runs at 100 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes I don't know how to get off the freeway. You just go,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, today at work, I'm flipping through, checking out videos, right? And I come across this video of a jail fight, right? And these two inmates go at it, and one inmate gets on top of the other one, just like literally is just taking them to Pound Town. There's no hope for this guy, right? So he gets up. This other inmate gets him up off of the poor guy on the ground. And then this dude, delivers, 2 elbows. I mean, straight out of the WWE elbows to the poor guy on the ground. I mean, I think one comes off the table. You know what I'm saying?
So it was like a people's elbow from the table.
Yeah, not quite Macho Man like, but he had his legs bent, and it was just straight elbow, and the whole place goes nuts for this elbow. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Everybody like, oh yeah.
Think about it. You don't ever really want to get in a fight, but you've thought about it. Well, if I ever get in a fight, I'm gonna pull out some wrestling moves. And this guy actually pulls down an elbow, a big elbow drop in a jail fight. It was crazy. It was crazy.
A little bit of jailhouse rock. See what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so good. You should stick to being the straight guy.
All right, tip
Let
your
the
waiters
funny
and
guys
waitresses
be
on the way out,
comedians.
please.
Oh, Esco Mofo got shot in the face. I'm just calling him out now.
You can send your hate mail, too. Actually, no. We don't want
Oh, reckless sex, I think it is. It's not spelled that way, but that's the way I think you pronounce it. Because it's got numbers in it instead of letters. I don't know. Why would you put numbers instead of letters?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to, their thing, but I'm entitled to shoot you in the face if you stick your head up over rocks.
If you're playing a first-person shooter, why would your screen name be something about sex or being a vegan? What the hell?
I don't know. Some people think they're funny, I guess.
Wasn't real funny. We got shot in the face.
Yeah, yeah. Too bad you can't bet names or something. Yeah, I got shot in the face. Be a whole list of them. Shot in the face 1 through 100. Oh, I lost a bet, did you?
It's over, Prime. All right, so main event.
I like wieners on my chin. That would be a popular one.
What the hell?
One, I think, for me. Hey, it's almost 11 o'clock. I can go there. I can go there. Oh, you shit. I can go there. That would be a nickname.
Damn it.
What? It's almost 11. I can say that stuff.
So, Survivor Series.
Damn that Janet Reno.
May she rest in peace. She
made the nation full of softies.
Oh, boy. I don't know. What were we talking about? Oh, Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
The main event.
Survivor Series. Main event.
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Returning to face the Beast Incarnate. Brock Lesnar.
Right? Oh, we got one fat vegan again. I think this is going to be all types of shenanigans. I don't even know if it's going to end cleanly. I think it'll be drug out until WrestleMania.
I think Goldberg gets the win.
Mm.
I think Goldberg will get the win. He'll come out Monday night. I'm done. I told you were next, and I told you were last. I'm going out on a high note. Thanks for everything. Paul Heyman comes out. Mr. Goldberg, on behalf of my client, Brock Lesnar. Okay, I had to do it. I say you're not done. And Brock gets him from behind, beats the crap out of him on Monday night, beats down this superhero. Brock enters the Rumble. It's time for him to finally make his road to WrestleMania. And who interferes and eliminates Brock Lesnar? Goldberg. Setting up the WrestleMania rematch.
Well played, my good man. Well
you,
played. Yeah, I like mine better, but, for the sake of giving you, a little bit of, happiness, that's a good theory. I kind of like that theory. I think it'll work, too. I do. Honestly do.
And I think this is the year Goldberg goes in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Oh, yeah, in one full swoop, huh?
Yeah, I think much like the Warrior, this is their opportunity. They're not going to let it pass them by. And now that they've been able to get him in contact, get him a appearance deal, a contract in place, yeah, they're going to put him in. Now, if for some reason they don't stretch it to Mania, and he still goes in the Hall, that wouldn't surprise me either. You
Right.
can't triple stamp a double. I got put into a Falls Count Anywhere match against Sin Cara at SummerSlam. I did a pose on the turnbuckle, and he German suplexed me off the top rope.
And you lost. Just like that.
No. I didn't lose. I'm gonna make him wish that this never happened. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna make him pay.
Damn him! Damn you, Sin Cara! Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see, what were we talking about? You done got me all distracted again.
Goldberg and Lesnar.
Chicanery.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I just hope they don't end it at this pay-per-view. Survivor Series. I would like to see it go further. Maybe one get one match, one get another, and then WrestleMania they have the big match. I'd be down with that too. I do like your little scenario.
The other way they could do this would be that Goldberg beats Lesnar and then declares, "I'm not done. I want a title match."
No. No, I don't like that one.
I
Because
think
then
it could
either
happen.
AJ or Owens would be fed to him.
Oh, no. See, I don't think he'll win the belt. I think Brock would cost him the title. I think Brock would make him put his career on the line.
Oh, well, wow. Ooh. Interesting. All right, but we do have... Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish. You're on a roll. Rolling out, kid.
I think there's a chance that we see Brock Lesnar end Goldberg's career. I think Goldberg honestly doesn't have a problem putting Brock Lesnar over in that, because Brock Lesnar is, as we've discussed many times, a legitimate badass. And I think if there's going to be a person that's Superman's kryptonite, who better than Brock Lesnar?
Who better than Brock Lesnar? Did you do some shenanigans there?
Wait a minute. That's not what I meant.
Who better than Canyon?
Hey, I saw a cool debate on Twitter here, and I'll ask you, who do you think was the worst commentator in wrestling?
The worst commentator?
Yeah.
Ooh. God, I'm kind of torn because when Mark Madden was on, he was on, but then when he was off, he was quite bad.
Yeah, he wasn't all that great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Snoochie Boochies.
I'm trying to remember the Macho Man, how he was as a commentator, however briefly it was. Yeah, that's it. That dude that was the general manager that kept screwing everything up. Wasn't
Mike
he a
Adamle.
Commentator at first? Yeah, wasn't he a commentator at first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff
How you
Harvey.
like that? How you like that to have Vince McMahon come to you? Look, bud. Yeah, you're so terrible on this mic that we're actually going to give you a promotion just to get you away from there. So
Don't talk as much.
yeah. And then what do? You give him the mic and he screws it up even worse.
Didn't he smack Kane in the face?
I don't know if he I don't remember if he smacked Kane in the face, but he would be like, and now the Undertaker's brother, Candy Kane.
Candy Kane.
Yeah. Mr. Peppermint, have you got anything to say to your adoring fans?
Is you is or is you isn't my constituents.
Yeah, I would rank him the worst, absolute worst. Yeah. Because I can't think of anybody in WCW that was bad, or NWA. Let me back up. World Championship. The Crockett's. I can't think of anybody there. WCW, maybe Mark Madden. Especially at the end. When you just got tired of his stick and he just didn't care. But yeah, it would probably have to be Adamle. Yeah. That's my vote.
Mike Adamle.
Put in the record books. Mike Adamle.
We'll have to ask Rob what his thoughts are. Who would be the worst color
Yeah,
commentator?
see, I mean, I can't even, because I've watched, wrestling from Hollywood and, some of these other ones. I can't even think of one of those guys, that are as bad as Adamle. So, that's just me. No offense, buddy, if you're listening. If you're, drinking a beer and, screw it, I'm going to listen to some internet radio tonight. And,
Hey, if Mark Madden wants to come on and chat with us, or if Mike Adamle wants to come on and chat with us, we'd be happy to talk to him.
Oh, I think Madden would be fun because we'd get to insulting each other, I think. And he'd probably hang up. So.
Well, nothing beats the interview that I did once with Axel Rotten, where he called us a bunch of effing marks, and he hung up on us.
Yeah.
That didn't go so well. May he rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah. That wouldn't be hard. I think I'd probably do it on purpose with a guy like Madden. Let him insult me, think he's getting the upper hand, and be like, all right, bud. All right, let's talk turkey. Cold turkey.
Get them all riled up and go, so tell me, how heavy are you now? Screw you guys.
That's not funny. I just killed a big fat vegan, and now you're making fat jokes. That's not funny. Not funny.
I mean, if you can be a vegan and you can be big and fat, why couldn't you be a big fat vegan?
It's because of heartless guys like you that give the rest of us a bad name.
Sorry. Sorry, jeez.
What about The Undertaker?
That's right. This Tuesday
televised
night.
for Tuesday.
Yep, the 900th episode of SmackDown.
And Edge, the rated R superstar.
Now, do we have a confirmation as to who his guest is going to be yet? I know they were teasing it, but I don't know who the guest on the cutting edge is going to be yet.
No, I'm not. I'm not entirely sure if they've announced it yet. I mean, it's very well they have, but I have not heard anything positive. So, but I'm curious to see the Undertaker, how he's holding up, considering the reports that were out about his health.
I mean, he did an appearance in Cleveland where he, celebrated with the Cavs, and I think he gave them one of the
Cavs.
The Cavs, the Cavaliers.
Cavs. Oh, it's the way you're saying it. It was almost like you were trying to say Cubs or something. I was like, what are you? Calf? Who's the Cavs? There's no sports team named Cavs. Cavs, buddy, Cavs. See.
Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
There, that's better. I know who you're talking about.
So he does the whole, give him the custom belt thing. And we had seen before that point pictures of him with crutches, like he'd had hip replacement surgery. So the question is, how good a shape is he in? And are they? It would appear that they're trying to get him ready for WrestleMania 33.
Yeah. I just hope, again, he's okay with doing the whole surgery thing and then, not rushing back, I guess. That would be a shame if he came back too soon and screwed something up.
I mean, part of me kind of wishes that he would just retire, and I don't mean it. Jeez, okay. Sorry.
Derek.
I'm sorry. Shut your mouth. Damn.
No, Mama, no.
Wrestling fans all over the world are crying, no, not The Undertaker. What happens if he comes out on the cutting edge and retires right there?
That would be interesting. I would hope not. But, no, let me take it back. I think I have voiced my opinion about that. I think maybe might be about time. But, I mean, if he's gotten back into shape, who am I to stop him? Roll on, 18-wheeler. Roll on.
Wow. Oh, my God. We just got an Alabama reference up in this mug.
Is that what that was? Like,
Mama in the
Roll
chair,
Tide?
waiting by the phone
That
all
type
night
Alabama?
long. Nothing but the words on the other end. All right, I'm sorry. I know that song, damn it. Roll on, family. Roll on.
All right. Roll on, not singing. How about that?
Who sings that song? Alabama. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. Did you get your invite to the country awards?
No. Tragically, I didn't.
Yeah. I'd probably telling you something right there, bud.
They're just jealous. They're jealous of my talent, of my greatness.
But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what shape he's in.
Hopefully he's in good enough shape, and also if he
is...
Oh,
wait. God, these are how the epiphanies come to me.
Oh, no, here it
right?
comes. Here it comes.
So, you have Kane...
We gotta go.
who is now in a feud with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Correct.
And who does Kane bring back? But is it little brother or big brother?
Big brother.
Big brother. Yep. Big brother Undertaker for a tag team match, or to extend the feud to WrestleMania. Bam. Just like that.
Wow.
Bam. So somewhere down the line, we'll have The Undertaker and the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatts.
What if it was Undertaker came back as the badass, the American badass.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, there it is. There's a reason for him to come back. And then that way he could go to WrestleMania, be in a tag team match. Wouldn't be quite as hard on his body. Bam.
He can go out on top.
Vince, yep, I am super genius when it comes to this, Vince.
I am super genius.
Super genius.
And with that, folks, it is time for us to wrap this up, put a nice little neat bow on it, and call it a show.
Yep, I think right about now, Vince is listening, and he's done torn up his booking sheet. Like, them, they did it again, them rotten little son of a beep.
Oh, I did, before we go, do you know Vince McMahon's favorite catchphrase right now? Sparkle crotch.
Wait, you cut out. What was it?
Sparkle crotch.
Sparkle crotch. Wow.
So
that's hilarious, right?
When Seth Rollins called Chris Jericho Sparkle crotch, McMahon was laughing hysterically backstage. And according to reports, and you can't make this stuff up, this is probably true. Who knows? Anyway, Rollins comes backstage, and McMahon is still laughing and making Seth Rollins say it over and over again. It is his latest thing. Sparkle crotch.
That's funny.
Folks, on behalf of Sparkle Crotch.
How would you like to be in that meeting, though? Hey, Sparkle Crotch, get over here. Yeah, that's funny. It's the little things that amuse me.
Well, we are but simple men. Of simple tastes and loves. The sport of kings in professional wrestling. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. Next week is Survivor Series. We will be doing our color commentary, triple threat style. Hopefully we will have Mr. Eddie Lane back with us. If not, we'll be broadcasting live from Spreaker. We will be doing our play-by-play starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll stick with you through the main event just like we always do. Rob will be back with us. You can follow the show on Twitter at C2C Radio Show. That's C, the number 2C Radio Show.
I knew that was coming. I almost did it for you.
The number two?
Number 2, yeah.
Numero dos.
Yeah, you sound like we're on Sesame Street.
1.
And the number 2.
You can catch up to us on Corner to Corner Show on Facebook. CornerToCornerWrestling.com, which has a bunch of pictures from our adventures in Charlotte. You need to check those out. Pretty cool. And also, it does have our last 3 shows uploaded there for your listening pleasure. Thank you so much for downloading us on iTunes and every other outlet that we are listed on. I can't begin to describe how many there are because there's a ton of them. It's amazing, and we are getting bigger by the week, and we appreciate you. Brian, where can they find you on social media, sir?
Right now, playing Battlefield 1, shooting Big Fat Vegan in the face and buttocks.
In the buttocks.
That's not, in the buttocks. I mean, you know where I'm at. I know where I'm at. But you should tell them where I'm at.
Brian's on the Twitter at STRCP21. Brian Taylor on Facebook. Rob is Rob Hefner on Twitter. Rob Hefner on Facebook. RDHUWP on Instagram. Corner to Corner is also on Instagram, by the way. And I can be found at Stan from Krypton for at least another month or so until I decide to change the name, and I am thinking of doing so. Most recently when I was able to get a brief moment of, hey, look, there's my name on TV. It was kind of cool, but it's time to change the name. So send your suggestions, nice ones please, to us on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever's in between, and we'll check them out, and I'll let you know if we decide to pick your selection. Aside from that, that's really all we got. So thanks again for listening, and we will see you next week for Survivor Series. Have a great one, everybody.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Rob's got friends in low places.
Peace.
He said thank you.
Bye-bye. Bah.